Welcome to the Get Your Pink Back Project. I'm your host, Dr. Christelle Oliver Dussault, and this is your space to pause, breathe, and return to yourself. One story, one insight, one conversation at a time. Let's begin. Welcome back to the Get Your Pink Back Project podcast. Today I'll be interviewing Stacey Owen, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about how we met. So this year I've started to going to a few local events that support women in business, and she was a speaker at one of these events, and I was in absolute awe of her when I met her. She has this energy that's contagious, and I really wanted to get to know this woman. So she's someone who has set up multiple businesses. She's an entrepreneur. She's also a mom to a beautiful little girl. And I've asked her to speak with me today so that she can tell me about her journey through motherhood. So welcome.
Thanks for having me. How do I start talking after that wonderful intro? I'm so shy right now.
Sorry, we've met a few times and have had some ice cream together, and it's just been so wonderful to get to know you. And I think a lot of people would benefit from hearing about your journey because everyone has a unique perspective on motherhood. So why don't we start by you telling me a little bit more about who you were before you were a mom?
It's so interesting. So who I was before mom, when I was younger, I always thought by the time I was 25, I'd have, the white picket fence and, I'd be married and maybe, pregnant with my first child. And 25 came and went, and it was nowhere even close to that. And I just assumed that's what life would look like.
Yeah.
So before now, I thought that's what it would look like. And then when it didn't happen and the relationship that I was in was actually a very unhealthy, abusive relationship, I thought that motherhood was actually not in the cards for me, that it wasn't going to happen, and that I was just going to be a solo individual. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is. That must have been something very hard to navigate if you always thought motherhood was going to be in your cards.
Yeah. But then I was okay. I always thought it was. And then I processed through the grief, which was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And then I came to a place where I knew my life could be fulfilling without being a mother, even though I had grieved that. But then when I met the partner that I have now, I couldn't believe that it was back
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
But life is wild and crazy, but
It
mostly
is.
amazing.
Do you feel that in that first grieving process, you learned a lot about yourself in a way that helped you navigate the transition to motherhood?
That's such a great question. I really dug into who I was, what I wanted to do, and what my time was worth. Definitely I had a bit of a me first era in there. Yeah.
And I think that's really important. A lot of moms don't get the chance to do that work, and it hits them right in the throes of motherhood. How did you navigate those first few months? Because it's quite a drastic change. You can try to prepare as much as you want, but nothing prepares you for the reality of it until you're in it.
Because I had done so much work as an individual and I felt so strong in who I was, and I had done a lot of self-development, I thought I was going to be the same person, but also a mother. I thought it would be me plus this other new being in my life and me plus being this new role. That's not how it went. That's not how that goes.
Usually is it? No.
Yeah. And other women had told me that basically you become a whole new person. And I thought, well, that's not going to happen to me because I am older. I know who I am. I know what I like. I know how I want to spend my life. That's not going to be the case for me. That was a lie to myself.
So what did your daughter teach you in the process?
So many things. To be more present. What is really important in life. I know that sounds cliche. We all hear it. But once you actually experience it, the weight of the words, they're just different. And what truly is important. And when I'm 80 and I'm looking back at my life, what am I going to be remembering? Like, what are the memories and the moments? And what is actually not going to matter? And who's going to remember me and who's not going to care?
Yeah. How did you navigate entrepreneurship and motherhood? Because entrepreneurship is the type of field where you never really, put the stop button on or turn off. It's kind of always there in your mind and you're kind of always juggling these different balls.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that shift?
Not well.
Okay.
Not well.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yes, I had not figured it out, and I'm
Okay.
still, in progress.
Mhm.
It happened during COVID.
Mhm.
So I was an older mother. I was 37, 30. I just turned 37
Mhm.
when I had her, right? Is that right? 37, 38, 39. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
It's
And
just a number.
it's just a number. Uh, and so I was a little bit older. My body didn't handle it very well. I
Mhm.
really struggled. I was on semi bed rest for 6 months and then fully for almost 2 months.
Okay.
That's a whole journey with that. Then I was running my company, my marketing agency. It was COVID.
Mhm.
We were running a big online virtual photography conference that had, only happened once before in the entire industry, the
Okay.
history of the industry, which was like a week before we launched. So we were doing all these big things. I ended up having my final team meeting while in labor at the hospital, like also a cliche
Mhm.
was me.
I feel like you're in an episode of Friends saying that.
Yes, and genuinely, that is
Yeah.
actually what happened, and then I took a week and a half off after I
Mhm.
had her, and I was back to work already 1 day a week because I felt like I
Mhm.
actually could not take a maternity leave, but my partner,
Mhm.
luckily, he took, almost 11 months,
Okay.
so he was home the whole time and supported us and, is he's the good parent.
So you had that emotional and
Yeah.
physical presence for him that allowed you to navigate
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
I think anybody who sees a woman who looks like she's doing it all, there's usually a team behind that. It's impossible to really do it all on your own.
Yes.
When you were navigating that shift and from like the bed rest to the pandemic, did you feel like you lost a bit of you in the process when you were
Yes.
focusing on all those moving parts?
Yes. I mean, there's no question, absolutely, and I'm sure anyone listening would be like, "Well, we can see that a mile away, Stacey." There was nothing left for me as a person.
Mhm.
I went from being fiercely independent, knowing myself, my time, my energy, and I was just so passionate in the work that I was doing,
Mhm.
I have great relationships with the people important to me, to becoming a mother and just, the hormones and the physical aspect of being pregnant, that was really challenging.
Mhm.
And then a challenging delivery to not fully resting on the other end,
Mhm.
and to also keep delivering for work and still try and be a good partner. I wanted to stay strong, like
Mhm.
postpartum depression. I'm like, you're not going to find me. This is a non option. This is
Mhm.
a postpartum is a non option for me.
Mhm.
So it's all good. We're going to keep going. And actually wasn't too bad. But I absolutely lost track of, yeah, what was important because
Mhm.
that had changed.
Yeah.
Because what was important before wasn't any longer. And that time to realize what the new most important things were, it did. It took some time.
Mm. Were there any signs that your body gave you or that people said to you that made you realize something needs to shift?
Oh, I was sick all the time.
Mm.
If someone just said the word flu or
Yeah.
virus, I would catch it. I was sick all the time. I went through clinical burnout.
Mm.
Clinical burnout.
What did that look like for you?
Exhausted, no gas in the tank, but still going.
Mhm.
I don't want to say depression, because I wouldn't identify it with being depressed,
Mhm.
but mental wellness was low.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you navigate that?
Not well. It gets
You
better.
you got out of it.
I did get out of
Get out
it.
of it.
I did get out of it.
You can laugh about it, so that's a good sign.
Yes. Like, it gets better, I swear. It gets better. But at the
In
time,
in those times where you were feeling completely, like, running on empty, wh what kept you going day to day or what lifted you out?
so what kept me going day to day was needing to show up for other people. So
Mhm.
show up for my partner, my new child, my team.
Mhm.
So I had a responsibility and I deeply cared about all of those
Mhm.
parts and all of those roles. And so I would keep showing up because I genuinely wanted to and it was genuinely important to me. And then I just couldn't anymore. And it literally, my body literally had to take me out and say, no, you don't get to intellectualize this and power through. That's not an option anymore.
Yeah.
It actually took that for me to stop and say, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself? I'm not showing up the way I should
Mhm.
be at work, even though I'm giving it everything I can. I'm not being the most present mother. I'm not being the best partner. I'm
Mhm.
recognizing this, even though I'm giving everything I can. It's because I was born from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So I really had to take a look at how I was living my life.
And so what changes did you make?
I restructured my company.
Mhm.
I actually took Sacred Money Archetypes,
Okay, yeah.
and that was that uh, explained to me in black and white a lot of the reasons why I was acting the way I was acting and making decisions the way that I was.
Mhm.
And when it was shown to me in black and white that these traits, even though they're neither good nor bad,
Yeah.
but I was operating from an unhealthy place and
Mhm.
what that looked like exactly was the life that I was living.
Yeah.
A lot of great things still, but some really,
Unsustainable patterns.
yes, absolutely. It was just not helping me. It was tripping me up. And then what a healthy version would look like,
Mhm.
even honoring those same values and those same characteristics. What would a healthy version of that look like? And so I started making structural changes in my business. I started delegating more. I really stepped back from the operations and just
Mm.
managed more of the strategy and my two main leads for the company. And that allowed me to breathe.
Mhm.
I stopped working weekends. I stopped working evenings. And if I couldn't get something done, it meant that I had too much on my plate.
So you started setting healthy boundaries with
Isn't that
yourself, within
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, because I loved what I did. I still love what
Mhm.
I do. I love my work. I'm very passionate about it. I will follow the
Mhm.
momentum, follow the lead. And I just said yes to too many things.
Mhm. It's so hard to say no,
Yes.
especially when you're a passionate person like you are. It's really
Yes.
hard to put up those bumpers.
Yes.
Does your body now give you signs when it's time to slow down or put up a new boundary? Or
You
do you have a few things that you've noticed that help you make that decision now when you need to say no?
I still will sometimes struggle with wanting to say yes and knowing that's my cycle and my habit. I now have something an interrupt
Mhm.
where I say, send me an email. Let me
Mhm.
take a look. Let me take a look at it. I'll get back to you
Yeah.
instead of just the immediate yes.
Mhm.
And then I'll sit back and ask myself, do I really have the capacity for this? Is
Yeah.
this moving me towards the goals that I have in my life or for my work or for my lifestyle?
Mhm.
I have a little twitch that just started right
Okay.
here. I can feel
I can
it.
barely notice it. It's okay, the camera's on
This
this
way,
side.
yes, this way, this way. But that pattern interrupt allowed me to, okay, wait a minute. Is it because I can see the possibilities and the opportunities in this thing?
Mhm.
Or, and I can, but is it for me? Do I have to say yes?
Mhm.
I don't even have to, but do I need to?
Mhm.
Is this really what I want to be doing with my time if I only have limited time? I have a sticky note on my desk that
Mhm.
says success equals simplicity.
I like that.
And I look at it every time I try and make a decision.
Mhm.
I try and look at it every time I make a decision. I just wrote a new business plan
Mhm.
for times, and I put it through the filter of that
Mhm.
4 different times.
Okay.
Some intentional planning for how I spend my time.
And the intention with how you spend up your time, because obviously time is finite, your energy is finite. How do you divide that up? Hard
Even
question, might not be able to answer it. That's okay.
But, it's so interesting. So I can tell you how I divide it up now, but I have to say if you're a new entrepreneur and you're listening to this, it's going to look different.
Yeah.
And there's seasons, and there are seasons for hustle and
Mhm.
working evenings and weekends that
Mhm.
can happen. Um, but that should be short time only. That
Mhm.
shouldn't be the standard. So now I don't work weekends.
Mhm.
I don't work evenings.
Mhm.
When my body tells me I'm tired, I am actually done for the day
Yeah.
and I will come back to it tomorrow. And if for some reason I didn't get it done, it means that I was over capacity.
It's very wise.
Pretty
So
basic.
no, but it's what's funny is that a lot of people don't realize that until they burn out, and you've already been through that, and you have become comfortable with what your capacity is, and you're not showing any guilt with with saying, "I need to stop and slow down." Because I think it's really hard to do in our culture of productivity to say, "No, I
Mhm.
need to stop for a second," and you've done that, and I think that's brilliant.
Thank you. But what's also great, especially if
Mhm.
you're an entrepreneur, is that if I feel like I have 10 hours of energy to
Mhm.
complete something, I will allow myself to work the 10 hours.
Yeah.
If I will get up extra early or everyone's gone to bed and I'm wide awake and I want to work
You
on
have
something,
ideas. Yeah.
yes, like I'm allowed to do that
Mhm.
time to time and follow that
Yeah, you
energy.
have that freedom.
Yes. Yeah.
When you are off, what do you do to fill your cup of tea?
Oh, I love gardening.
Mhm.
My daughter loves weeding with me, so that's pretty
Yeah,
fantastic.
that is handy.
That's handy. It is great. It is
Yeah.
great. Yeah, spending time with friends and family. I was gonna say cooking, but that would be a lie
Mhm.
because my partner cooks more than me. The one day a week I cook, I do enjoy.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between cooking for necessity and cooking out of pleasure as well
Mhm.
too. I don't know if that's something that shifted for you, but I used to love cooking before I had kids. And then when it became that necessity of the meals and the snacks and the lunches, it just sucked all the joy out of it. And it was such a different way of operating in the kitchen that I
Yes.
just didn't enjoy as much anymore.
Yeah.
It's funny how are there things that you enjoyed before motherhood that you're finding just are no longer your go-to?
I used to crochet
Okay.
and knit.
That surprises me. I
Yes.
wouldn't have pictured you as someone who
Yeah.
crocheted.
I mean, I did live in a garage with no running water for 5 years
Okay.
in a past life,
Okay.
which is wild, and it was that era. That's a
Yeah.
whole other story with my ex-husband.
Mhm.
I I used to love sewing.
Mhm.
I still like the idea of it,
Mhm.
and if I had extra capacity, I would love to do that. So I love
Mhm.
fashion. I have gotten back into gardening. I love just intellectual conversations with my friends,
Mhm.
and I love spending time with my family. Like, travel,
Mhm.
but it's really so simple. I love reading my books. I
Mhm.
love talking about my books.
Yeah.
It's nothing too crazy.
It's not, but it's what resonates with you.
Yeah.
It's human connection, interacting with others,
Yes.
and then some introspection. Like gardening can be quite introspective, reading is quite introspective. So it's, a yin and a yang. You can't always be in that open space connecting with everyone. You need to pull back sometimes. And it sounds like you've navigated a really nice balance for the current season of your life.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. I know you say it sounds simple, but it's a lot
Mhm.
easier said than done. And it takes a lot of internal work to get to that space, and a support
Mhm.
network, which you've touched on already, which
Mhm.
is super. Do you have any words of wisdom to give to mothers who are either expecting shortly or are in the throes of it and, going between nappies and
Mm.
snacks and bottle or breastfeeding and laundry and the list goes on?
Because I feel like I'd probably say a couple different things. Release expectation
Mhm,
of yourself and what you think it's going to look like,
mhm.
and just allow to be whatever it is going to be, and to be kind to yourself. Don't penalize yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
self-compassion can go in a really long way.
Yes, also sounds easy, also really hard
Really hard.
to do.
Yeah.
This is maybe like a bit odd to say, but if you're an entrepreneur
Mhm,
and are like career driven
mhm,
and um, becoming a mother or a new mother, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I I get told all the time that my partner is like a great father.
mhm.
I think I've been told maybe like total maybe in almost 4 years 4 times.
Oh, that hurts.
Isn't that interesting though? Because
Mhm.
I think as a career driven woman, I
It's hard to navigate both.
it's hard to navigate both, but
Yeah.
because I'm not a dedicated mother.
You're not the typical, mom at home baking the muffins, preparing the
Yes.
lunches, walking the kid to school, but
Yes.
you mother in a different way. And it
Yes.
doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Exactly. So if this is you, maybe I wish someone had prepared me that
Mhm.
this could be the scenario
Yeah.
and the lack that can feel. So you
Yeah.
need to decide what makes you a good mother for you. Like, what is your definition of that
Yeah.
and the agreement you have with your partner or
Mhm.
your spouse?
Yeah. It's very unique to each family, and it's a very hard space to navigate.
Hmm.
I think myself, I worked too much and then had very little left in the tank, similarly to yourself. And then was working too little and felt like I'd lost that identity and the role that I played in the community. So the needle is always moving and you need to continually reflect, am I happy with how the day to day is going? And there's no right fit and everyone needs to figure that out for themselves and learn from other people's tools and see how that applies in their lives.
I think just be curious.
Mhm.
You're allowed to set your own definition of what a
Mhm.
good mother is or a good parent, what your life looks like, what your balance looks like. Your balance is going to look different than my balance,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to finish on a quote because I've asked everyone to send me a quote or mantra that is fitting for the current season of your life. And here is Stacey's. I'm in the right place at the right time, having a human experience I am supposed to experience. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
The information shared on the Get Your Pink Back Project podcast is for educational and general informational purposes only. Although I am a medical doctor, I am not providing medical, psychological, or professional advice specific to you or any individual. This podcast does not establish a physician-patient relationship, and the content should not be used as a substitute for personalized medical care, mental health support, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your own physician, mental health professional, or qualified healthcare provider with any questions you have regarding your health or well-being. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with another woman who might need it. And if you feel called, leave a rating or review. It helps grow this community. Remember, you are not lost, you are becoming. I'll see you next time on the Get Your Pink Back Project podcast.